Let me ask you something. When you think of someone who is truly wealthy, what picture comes to mind? Is it the person driving the latest sports car through downtown with the windows down and music blasting? Is it the neighbor who just installed a massive pool and throws loud parties every weekend, showing off their outdoor kitchen? Is it that influencer on social media who posts shopping hauls from luxury brands and talks about their five-star vacations as if they're everyday occurrences? If that is what you imagine when you think of wealth, I need to tell you something that might shatter that illusion completely. That is not wealth. That is performance. That is a carefully constructed mask that hides a terrifying reality of crushing debt, paralyzing anxiety, and financial fragility that could collapse with one missed paycheck. Those are the people who look rich, but are actually one emergency away from disaster. Real wealth looks nothing like that. Real wealth is invisible. It is silent. It is the person sitting next to you on the subway in simple clothes, who you would never guess has seven figures quietly compounding in their investment accounts. It is the coworker who brings lunch from home in a container and drives a 10-year-old car to work while actually owning 3 rental properties free and clear. It is the friend who never mentions money, never suggests expensive outings, but always seems to have time, energy, and peace of mind. Today, I'm going to show you 10 specific signs that you are building that kind of quiet wealth, the kind that lasts generations, the kind that buys freedom instead of handbags. And the beautiful part is, if these signs are showing up in your life right now, you are further ahead than 95% of the population, even if your bank account balance doesn't look impressive to an outsider yet. You are building the foundation for a life that most people will never achieve because they're too busy performing success to actually achieve it. Sign number 1. You check your bank account less, not more. This seems completely counterintuitive at first, but hear me out and think about your own behavior. When people are struggling financially, when they're living on the edge, they develop a toxic, compulsive relationship with their bank accounts. They check their balance 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a day. They calculate exactly how many days until payday. They lie awake at night at 3 in the morning doing mental math, wondering if that subscription renewal will bounce, if the rent check will clear, if they can afford groceries tomorrow. It's a constant low-grade panic that drains their mental energy and ruins their sleep. But when you're building quiet wealth, something fundamental shifts in your psychology. You stop obsessing over the day-to-day fluctuations because you know the systems are working in the background. Your bills are on auto-pay, your investments are automatic and diversified, your emergency fund sits there like a silent, loyal guard watching over you. You might check your accounts once a week or even once a month, not because you're careless or irresponsible, but because you've built a foundation so solid, so automated, that daily surveillance has become completely unnecessary. That peace of mind is worth more than any luxury watch or designer label could ever provide. Sign number 2. Your car is older than 5 years and you genuinely do not care what people think about it. The automotive industry has spent billions of dollars over decades convincing you that your identity, your status, and your worth as a human being are tied to what you drive. They want you to believe that successful people lease new cars every 3 years, always have that intoxicating new car smell, and never worry about repairs because they just trade it in. It's a brilliant, financially devastating trap that keeps the middle class broke. Quietly wealthy people see through this marketing manipulation immediately. They understand that a car is simply a tool to get from point A to point B safely, and that a reliable used car that is fully paid off is one of the greatest financial assets you can own in your portfolio. When your coworkers are showing off their new lease payments and bragging about their heated seats and panoramic sunroofs, you're smiling inwardly because your insurance policy is $50 a month, you have zero payment, you have no interest charges, and you just invested the thousands of dollars you're saving every month. That's not being cheap, that's being strategically brilliant. Sign number 3. You can say no to social events without experiencing any anxiety or guilt. This is a massive psychological indicator that separates the truly wealthy from the performers. Most people are trapped in what I call obligation spending. They go to expensive dinners they can't afford because they were invited. They attend destination weddings that drain their savings because they are afraid of offending someone. They say yes to everything because they're terrified of being left out, of looking cheap, of damaging relationships, or of being judged. But when you're building real wealth, you develop a financial backbone made of steel. You can decline an invitation because it doesn't fit your budget this month, and you don't feel the need to apologize profusely or make elaborate excuses. You don't invent fake illnesses or pretend to be busy with imaginary work. You simply prioritize your future self over temporary social approval. That confidence is incredibly rare in our consumer culture, and it's a clear indicator that your money is working for you, not the other way around. You control your calendar, not your fear of missing out. Sign number 4. You have multiple streams of income, but you tell absolutely no one about them. Look carefully at the fake rich person. They can't stop talking about their side hustle, their crypto gains that one time, their latest business idea, or their affiliate marketing schemes. They post about it constantly on every platform. They need external validation for every dollar they earn because the money itself is not enough to satisfy them. It's entirely performative, designed to impress others rather than build security. Quiet wealth builders operate in complete stealth mode. They have the dividend portfolio sending checks quarterly, the rental income from the basement apartment, the freelance client that pays automatically, the digital product that sells while they sleep. But they never post about it on social media, they never brag about it at parties or family dinners. They let the money accumulate in silence because they understand deep in their bones that attention attracts predators, tax audits, jealous relatives, and people who want to borrow money. They are building a financial fortress, not a stage for their ego. Sign number 5. You buy quality once instead of trends repeatedly. This is where many people get confused about what frugality actually means. They think being wealthy means always buying the cheapest option at the discount store. The opposite is actually true. Quietly wealthy people are ruthless and calculating about cost per use. They'll spend $400 on a pair of boots that last 10 years instead of buying $40 boots every winter when they fall apart. They'll invest in a classic wool coat that never goes out of style and lasts 15 years rather than chasing fast fashion every season and donating bags of clothes annually. They have moved beyond the temporary dopamine hit of novelty purchases. They're playing the long game with everything they own. When they buy something, they research it thoroughly, they invest in it upfront, and they maintain it meticulously. Their closet is smaller, but the cost per item is higher. Their kitchen has fewer gadgets cluttering the drawers, but better quality knives that last a lifetime. They understand that buying quality is actually a form of aggressive savings disguised as spending. Sign number 6. You sleep better than your boss. Your boss might make 3 times your salary, drive a luxury vehicle, and live in a neighborhood with a gate, but I guarantee you that many bosses are absolutely miserable and stressed beyond belief. They are leveraged to the hilt. They have the massive mortgage that requires 2 incomes, the private school tuition that costs more than some colleges, the country club membership to maintain status, the 2 luxury car payments, perhaps alimony or child support, and the lifestyle that requires them to maintain a high-pressure job they secretly hate. You, on the other hand, are building gaps in your financial armor. You have space between your income and your expenses. You have options and breathing room. If you lost your job tomorrow, you would be completely fine for 6 months or 9 months or even a year without panicking. That knowledge allows you to sleep deeply at night without medication or alcohol. Your nervous system is not constantly flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. That health advantage, that deep restorative sleep, is a form of wealth that never shows up on a spreadsheet, but affects every single moment of your waking life. Sign number 7. You genuinely do not know what your coworkers earn, and you truly do not care.
Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's also the enemy of wealth accumulation. Broke people are obsessed with what everyone else makes. They gossip about bonuses in the break room, they resent their colleagues for getting promoted, they calculate exactly who got the bigger raise and complain that it's unfair. They let other people's incomes dictate their own spending decisions. If their coworker buys a new car, suddenly they feel inadequate driving their paid-off vehicle and start looking at dealerships themselves. When you're on the quiet wealth path, you're running your own race with blinders on. You don't know if the person in the cubicle next to you makes $50,000 or $80,000 because you've never asked, and it genuinely doesn't matter to your financial plan. Your plan is not dependent on outperforming them or keeping up with them. It's dependent on outperforming your former self. That internal scorekeeping, that focus
on your own metrics is a superpower that keeps you out of the comparison trap. Sign number 8. Your emergency fund is boring, massive, and completely untouched. Most people treat their emergency fund like a casual suggestion or a temporary holding area. They have $1,500 saved, then they dip into it for a concert ticket because it's on sale, then for a tire replacement, then for a birthday gift for someone they barely like. It never grows beyond a certain point. It is constantly depleted and replenished in a stressful cycle. Quietly wealthy people treat their emergency fund like a religious artifact that must be protected at all costs. It sits in a high-yield savings account at a separate bank from their checking account, completely out of sight, and it grows month by month until it covers 6 months, then 9 months, then a full year of expenses. They never touch it for anything that is not a true emergency. They almost forget it exists because it is not for spending, it is for security. When you have that cushion, you make better career decisions. You do not panic sell your investments when the market drops. You do not take the first terrible job offer that comes along out of desperation. You wait for the right opportunity. Sign number 9. You invest automatically without thinking about it or checking the market daily. This is the ultimate sign of mature, sophisticated wealth building. You have removed emotion from the equation entirely through automation. Every single month, like clockwork, money leaves your checking account and enters your investment accounts before you can even think about spending it. It happens whether the stock market is up or down. It happens whether you feel confident or scared. You do not try to time the market based on news headlines. You do not panic sell when the news is bad. You do not celebrate and buy more when the news is good. You just keep buying consistently through every season. You understand that wealth is not built by being brilliant one time with a lucky stock pick. It is built by being consistent every single month for decades. While others are debating whether to invest this month or wait for a dip that may never come, you have already invested. While others are selling in fear during a crash, you are calmly buying more shares at a discount. You have built a machine and you let it run without interference. Sign number 10. You feel a strange, almost guilty sense of peace when others around you panic. This is the final and most profound sign that you have crossed into true wealth territory. When the economy stumbles, when the headlines scream recession and doom, when your friends are posting on social media about layoffs and market crashes and how stressed they are, you feel something unexpected. You feel calm, not because you are reckless or naive, but because you have prepared systematically for exactly this moment. You have the emergency fund. You have the diversified portfolio. You have the valuable skills that are recession-resistant. You have the low overhead and fixed expenses. You are not immune to economic forces, but you are resilient and anti-fragile. While others are making desperate moves, selling low at the worst possible time, taking predatory loans or begging for their jobs back with desperation, you are breathing slowly. You are thinking clearly. You might even be aggressively buying assets at a discount while everyone else is fleeing. That peace, that clarity during chaos, is the ultimate luxury that money can buy. It is what all the fancy cars and watches and bottles at the club promise to deliver, but never actually provide. It is the knowledge that no matter what happens outside in the world, you have built something solid, something real, something lasting inside your own financial house.
So, here's the truth I want you to take away from this. If you recognized yourself in 5 or more of these signs, you are already wealthy in the ways that matter most. You might not have the yacht yet or the private jet, but you have the foundation. You have the habits. You have the mindset. And that means the numbers in your accounts are just lagging indicators of what is already fundamentally true about you as a person. Keep going. Stay quiet. Stay consistent. Stay focused on your own path. The world will notice eventually, probably when you retire decades earlier than everyone else. But by then, you'll be so busy enjoying your freedom that you won't even care what they think.